All right, folks, back here with the 2014 spring DCHL season.
I know we're talking about hockey, but it is baseball season, and got to rep my Cubs.
You know what? There you go. There you go.
You know?
I'm a diehard Cubs fan as well. Jason Netzer and comment out there. So hopefully they'll be able to.
You know, he
make
spent about a week in Chicago, decided to root for the Cubs. So.
No, I spent about 2 years in Chicago. But anyway.
If folks aren't aware of Suds' choices in sports teams, he's got sports teams from all over. He's an Islanders fan.
Boston
I think
Celtics
he's a Rams fan for some reason because his uncle spent 3 weeks there.
Boston Celtics
he likes
fan.
The Cubs. So yeah,
I'm all over the place.
Yeah,
all over
he really is.
Cal, a basketball fan, can you figure that out? But with a Maryland grad, all over the place. Anyway, Cubs, again, hopefully, this is not going to be a very good year for us, but hopefully next year.
I'll just be happy if we don't lose 90 games.
Yeah, there you go. Overall, okay, now back with the 2014 spring season DCHL style with the Pro Division. Okay. Same 8 teams, not much change there. We do have some name changes actually. DC Propacudas is not called the Ball Gags. Don't ask me why. Well, I know why. We're not getting the discussion right now on the air. But the Ball Gags are now the new name for DC Propacudas. Have some new faces as well. Also, the State guys have got a couple new faces as well.
Yeah.
What else happened in Pro? General Manager Suds resigned his post from Puck University, so he's no longer with Puck University.
Amidst the great amount of controversy, I'm sure, over that.
Yes, exactly. So as he's posted on Facebook, Puck University's dead to him right now. Totally dead to him right now. Anyway, we're going to go on and talk about the 8 pro teams. Let's start with the bottom up. And unfortunately, we're going to talk about the 8 team. To me right now, sad to say, but clearly the 8 team in the division right now is the Ball Gags. Yeah. They are by far the clear-cut last place team. They've had some ice hockey players. I haven't seen some scoring yet. Team is still struggling. They have a new goalie in Dana, who's a very good goalie actually. But you see that he's seeing way too many shots. They have no offense. How can the Ball Gags turn this around? Or there has to be a rec team next season.
Well, as I mentioned in the rec segment, the biggest problem I see with the Ball Gags is that the roster's not showing up.
Correct.
They were scraping for emergency players this past Sunday.
Correct.
To the point where they had to call in this guy.
Yes. Who scored a goal, power play goal.
Yeah, but
when you score a power play goal in pro, something's wrong with the pro team. I'm only kidding. But good job there, by the way. But the points well taken.
Not an unfair assessment.
Your points well taken, though. They need subs badly.
Yeah,
you and Tom and fill in.
Yeah, they really do. So, again, it's going to depend on A, if their full roster shows up, or B, if they don't have a full roster anymore, who's going to step in and step up. So I think that's their biggest problem right now. And I think that was a problem last season for them as well when they were DCP. So they have talented players, but they seem to lack a true nucleus.
Continuity is very, very important out there, and they've got 8 more games to change the scenario around. But I'm concerned from what I've seen so far. If you have new ice hockey players, they need continuity. They need to be there. They need to run the game. And I'm concerned this is the team that actually get demoted. We'll see. I hope that's the case, but we'll see what happens out there. But the Ball Gags certainly a work in progress, right as we speak right now. Now, after the Ball Gags, you can pick any team to be 7th. I'll be honest with you. You got a lot of teams out there. I personally right now have 2 teams in the 6th, 7th spot. You can swap them. That would be Funk or Blood Red. And those are very, very good teams. They're excellent teams actually. But how tough the Pro Division is. Funk or Blood Red. Let's talk about Blood Red first.
Okay.
Blood Red obviously got the tough part of the draw. They opened up against the Puck Boys and got their asses kicked, so to speak. And no, who doesn't, by the way, against the Puck Buddies. And then they played a very tough team with the All Blacks and played to it's a great game, featured game you called on YouTube. Go watch it. It was a great, intense 1-1 tie game with Ryan Dorman, coast to coast. On a great play. They had 4 dekes, and then you always get the deke part. You always get around. Then he put the shot on net. So we made a great coast-to-coast game. And the Blood Red hung tough. Got a point out of that game. Yeah. Can they move up? Or, it's a very tough division. Can they move up the top sore spot?
They can. I think the biggest thing we've seen with Pro is that teams that were towards the bottom last season have improved.
That's correct. Very good point.
And it'll be interesting to see how they weather it. Now, going against the All All Blacks and
Tough
coming
team.
over with the tie. That was
impressive.
huge for them. It'll be
impressive.
interesting to see if that has any ramifications later in the season.
Excellent point.
But again, I think everybody in pro typically got better, maybe with the exception again of the ball gags, but roster issues affecting them.
Correct.
I think everybody else got better. So it's really going to be kind of a shuffle, I think, at least in the middle tier of pro, as who is up there, who's in the middle.
Agreed. Sixth right now is Funkmasters. Playing well. They had Sean Bach this past weekend. Team that, again, to me, personifies what DCHL is all about. Blue collar team. They don't cut players. They've got a lot of players who are rec players who've improved dramatically. They stay in their tight knit group. They're not there to win the cup by stacking. They're there to win the cup if they can win it with their own staff, which I love as well too. So I have a lot of support for the Funkmasters. Playing well. Again, a tough draw. They were upset by an upstart Snake Eyes team in week number 1, and then they got the Puck Buddies. And they played well. Only lost 4-0 or 5-0. So when you lose 4-0, 5-0, that's a pretty good statement, I think, in my mind. They played very, very well. Jordan played very, very well as well too. So Funkmasters looking to get out of that bottom 4, get the top 4. Do you think it can happen, or would you bet on it's going to happen?
Yeah. Okay. Funkmaster, I think Funkmasters have too much talent to stay in the cellar, or to stay in that bottom 2 area. Yeah, I mean, again, they got a couple of tough draws against the revamped Snake Eyes team and against the Puck Buddies.
Tough draw early, exactly.
It happens, and again, when there's only 8 teams in pro, someone's going to get that early schedule. But the teams that had kind of the easier schedule are going to feel that later.
Well, I mean,
so it's all going to balance out.
Who is the easy schedule? I mean, maybe the ball gags right now, maybe the easy. I mean, not to be disrespectful, but who else is easy out?
I say easy is a relative term.
Yeah, exactly.
Easier.
Easy, yeah, exactly. There's no easy out in pro. If you don't show up in pro, you're going to lose. Right. Bottom line. The fifth team right now would have been Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes have improved dramatically from the worst team of the season last season. They moved up dramatically. Lucy Myers now they're full time. Got the chemistry going now with the team. Ron is obviously a top player. Lindsay Bittler too. She scored a hat trick in the first week of the season. She played week number 3 and goals well. To Lucy scored also as well. I believe 5 of the 10 goals they've scored came from female players, Lindsay and Lucy.
Females carrying the Snake Eyes.
Awesome to see that as well too. Yeah. But they got 2 male players who I want to talk about. This guy named Greg and this guy named Mike Finley. These guys can shoot and score. Yeah. And with Greg and Mike and Lindsay and Lucy and Ron, they can now score goals in bunches. Yeah. And they got John Robson nets. They're a grinding team. This team.
Ron on the team too.
That's right. Ron, obviously, Ron scored. Yeah. I mean, this team, I think, suddenly can be an upset special. It could be a dark horse to make a run.
Well, I'm surprised
for the DCHL Cup.
Number 5. I would rank them higher right now. Well, in the first 2 weeks.
I mean, to me, to go from 8 to 2 would be tough. I mean, I would.
Right.
They haven't really. They've beaten. Who have they beaten so far? They beat the Funkmasters.
Yeah.
They've beaten the Ducks. 2 good teams, but they haven't beaten one of the top 2 of the top 4 teams yet. They've beat only one of the Ducks only. If they've beaten Puck Buddies or Puck University or All Blacks, I'll be more open up. They're going to play them again.
Again, that's the scream on our part. When do we ever completely agree, folks? I understand.
Well, but I'm saying, yeah, but don't get me wrong. To me, I would put them as high as 5 right now.
But yeah. The point is that Snake Eyes much improved from the season last.
Absolutely.
Their females really outscoring most of the league. In general. I mean,
Lindsay's a very underrated player, obviously, and having Lucy the same team.
She's very good.
It's a great 1-2 punch.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about the Snake Eyes this season. I really am. They're playing very well right now, early on. Again, they played the Funks and they played the Ducks, who were a top 2 team last season, and they came away with the win there. So don't sleep on the Snake Eyes. That's all I'll say. Don't sleep on the Snake Eyes.
Absolutely. Now talk about the 4 team. Let's go about talking about the Ducks right now. Ducks are shocking 0-2 right now. Gave up a lot of goals. They blew a 3-goal lead to the Puck University. Lost 6-5. It was 5-4, 6-5. 6-5 in regulation time. They had a 5-4 lead against the Snake Eyes. Lost 7-5 to the Snake Eyes. So their defense is being exposed, I think, right now. They're a great team, and I don't believe Chris Connor's played a game yet. I'm not sure if Chris Connor's played with them or not, but they have his rights. He hasn't played the game yet, but they're scoring. They can always score goals, but shockingly, they're 0-2. And I believe who do they have next week? I think they have a very tough team. Who else? I think it's Blood Red. If they lose to Blood Red, they'll be 0-3. And to me, that if you're 0-3, you're done. You have no chance top 4 spot.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I disagree.
0-3 to 7-game season is not
a lot can happen in a season, and to call it after 3 weeks in a season, I think is.
But there's only seven games out there.
Yeah, but
top 4 speed. Top 4 seed.
Yeah, but
top 4 seed.
Maybe, but still, anything can happen once you reach the playoffs. Is my point, especially in pro when it's not segregated into 2 different divisions. So. I think the Ducks are
you called one of the games. Your thoughts on the Ducks and what may be ailing them right now?
So with the Ducks against Puck U, there was just a defensive breakdown late, and that's what really did them in. I mean, the Puck U scored 3 goals
the last 5 minutes, or
something like that, to not only tie but to win it.
Right.
I think that's uncharacteristic of the Ducks. They have a very solid defense. 9 out of 10 weeks in a row, and that was, I think, the one week that they just didn't have it. This week they were missing they're missing Chris Callender, and again, it's just they went against. I don't know how to describe it except to say that
upstart Snake Eyes team. They're a pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean they've had some bad luck, but I think they'll rebound. I think they'll rebound, and I think that they will continue to be a top 4 team moving forward. Again, very very tough to do when you drop 2 in a row to start the season, but I think it's too early to count them out.
Okay, good news to the Ducks. Okay, here's the good news. The good news is they've added.
And I wanted to say too, this week Elliott had an off game. We've seen Elliott make 45, plus saves a game. This week that didn't happen for him. I just think that's an off week for him. Moving forward, I expect Elliott to regain his superior form in that.
Now here's my concern with the Ducks. Positive, negatives. Positives. They picked up Scott McCurry, who's playing almost full time right now.
Yeah.
Scott McCurry, one of the best players, one of the best goalies in the league,
He's
playing
got that
defense.
Hard shot from the point that
he helps on defense
I can tell you from playing against him at JCC, I hate him.
Great defensive player, great shot, exactly, great point guy. What I hear is probably the best player that doesn't play at DCHL, but now she's playing there. Tiffany P.O.K.
Yes.
Their last name. Yes. She's playing now, and she's already scored a goal, for a goal in both games she played in so far. So they picked up 2 great players, and still they're not winning it. That concerns me if I'm a Ducks fan. But on the flip side, they haven't Chris Callender yet.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go back. That's a good news. The bad news is Chris Callender doesn't play defense. It's not scoring's their issue right now. They're scoring goals, having a problem winning games. Now, I heard one thing from Luke Taylor. Luke Taylor, one of our most respected players in our league out there. He's a loyal DCHL player, plays a lot in our league, and NBHL and RHL as well too. Luke goes, "That's the Snake Eyes?" He goes, "That's not the Snake Eyes that I know," which was a compliment to Snake Eyes thing that they've obviously proved. The Ducks weren't prepared for I'll call it sandbagging, what do you want to call it, but Snake Eyes are a good team.
Yeah.
People are going to lose out there, so Ducks were surprised how good Snake Eyes were, and it just proved the fact that this division is even more tougher than they thought it was. They're 0-2. Again, I know what your point. They can still win the cup. No doubt about that. But I'm fearful that to win the cup, you've got to be you got to be positioned correctly. Yes, they can pull the upset, but will they be the top 4? If they lose one more game, they're not going to be the top 4. Mathematically, they're going to be very, very behind the ball out there. They may not be a top 4 team anymore if they lose one more game, but we'll see what happens. They've got a very tough team game next week against Blood Red. They haven't played the All Blacks yet. They haven't played Puck Buddies yet, so they got a tough schedule ahead of them as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see what happens overall. But there's Ducks at number 5. Number 4 team, still I would say right now it's Puck University or the All Blacks. Great win. A roster at Puck University. They've actually got Bride Slansky and Marty Van split full time for them as well.
Yeah.
That helped a lot. Getting more speed as well too. They've narrowed the roster down, and I'm hearing rumors that the best Cobra Kai player, or arguably the best Cobra Kai player that has not played DCHL for a while, Mike, is joining the league team full time. A sniper, scorer galore. If they get Mike and what they have so far, wow, this could be a dangerous team as well too. They're 2-0. They had an easy game against the Ball Gags. They had a great win against Ducks. Your thoughts? Have they really improved the season in your opinion, Puck University? Have they moved up a notch, do you think?
I think they've improved. I think they're about where they were last season. I don't think not standings wise, but rankings wise, I don't think they've moved up a notch yet. But I think week 3 will be telling for them if they've really improved or not.
excellent point. Now let's go to number 3 team, the All Blacks. Week number 1, they beat the Ball Gags. Who doesn't these days, unfortunately? And then they had a tough game against Blood Red. Again, a team that they probably thought they could beat, but has off a 1-1 tie. Again, a very tough division. The All Blacks always bounce back. They're a very mentally tough team.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them, but are you worried at the talent level? They lost Bill Nardi. Bill Nardi, I believe either broke his leg or tore something, if I recall correctly, playing basketball. So he's going to be out.
To Bill Nardi.
Yes, Bill, he's one of the cool guys out there. He plays in our league, also in DCHL as well too. Well wishes to Bill Nardi. He texted me he's doing well, but losing Bill Nardi is going to hurt them scoring wise. Great veteran player, can score, leader as well too. My concern is they're a mentally tough team, but now do they have the talent to compete with the top 4 teams? Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see how, even with the loss of Bill Nardi, I don't see how you can count the All Blacks out of the top 3, top 4 tier. I really don't. They've got largely the same roster. They've got solid goaltending. They have scores. They have one of the best defenders in the entire league in Jason Wally.
Absolutely. I know. Let me correct that. 2 of the best defenders. Yeah. I don't think Jeff Van, I call it Jeff VD. He's one of the best underrated defensemen. He gets no pub out there. Jason and Jeff make a great pair on defense as well too. They split shifts up, but they're awesome defenders. I would take either one on my team in a heartbeat.
And the All Blacks probably one of the better teams I've ever seen.
That plays
taking face-offs. I mean, they got the strategy, and they score a lot off the face-off.
They do.
As a goaltender, you got to be prepared for that.
And I was talking to a couple of the players. To me, if you ask me, the one team in all 24 teams out there who has the best hockey IQ, who used the best talent, the best spacing, the best flow, moving spots, clearly the All Blacks. They use the entire arena.
Yeah.
They use all their spacing. They hustle hard. They go to spots. They're both the most well-coached teams out there. So give them credit for that as well too.
And they're just good character people. I mean, they're
hard workers, blue collar.
Yeah.
Blue collar workers.
They will never trash talk anybody. They will never talk down anybody. They're always they just want to. They're out there to have fun, and if they
want to beat the half out of you too.
They win.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Number 2 team right now. Who do we forget here so far? We got the All Blacks at 3. Did I forget somebody out there? I bet I forgot somebody because it has to be 2 someone. I know I had 2 5s. I apologize. I had Ducks Snake Eyes. Ducks was 4. Puck University was 3. All Blacks was 2. Yeah, exactly. Number 1 team still is Puck Buddies. Right. They've gotten better because they got Jason Lopez now back there. He left the Ball Gags. He was originally a Puck Buddy. He went back there. Can this team be stopped? Can this team be stopped? The Puck Buddies. Can they be stopped?
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I'm tired of betting against the Puck Buddies. I really am.
Solid team as well too. Again, teams are getting better and better and better. But when you have Jake Berube, that puts you. I mean, Puck Buddies are a good team without Jake Berube. Let's be honest with you. Jake Berube puts them on top. If you take Jake Berube away, Puck Buddies.
It's not even just that though. I mean, look. They got Ron Kelly. They got Peter Doe.
Well, like I said earlier, take Jake Berube. They can still win cups, but Jake Berube puts them on over the top, where it's hard to beat.
You know what? And I'm going to say something that's probably create a little deception.
Okay.
I think Sean Rada puts him over the top.
You know what? I think Puck Buddies.
Honestly,
I think Puck Buddies would agree with that.
Jake Berube, I mean, probably the best goal scorer in the league. Mm-hmm. You take Jake Berube off that Puck Buddies team and you exile him into Siberia and you keep Sean Rada in net, they're probably still the best team in the league.
Yeah, agreed. They may not win all the cups in a row, but I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. So I think Sean, you're right. Great point. Sean is probably again the referees talk with our happy hour bachelor party we have every Sunday night, and we agree the best goalie in our opinion. It's almost unanimous. I believe it is unanimous between the 4 referees. But the best goalie in the league is Sean Rada, hands down. Number 2, in our opinion, is Joe Sharko.
I would flip flop on that.
Obviously, you're a bookie, yeah. You're a bookie, I understand that. I would vote Sean Rada with Jack Joe. And I love Joe Sharko. Sharko's number 2 in my book. So the top 2 goalies in our league right now. Number 1.
1 and 1A.
I would still say 1 and 2, but well respected though. It's good to be 1 and 2 in a 24-team league though.
That's true too.
So it's a good point out there. All right, there you go. Pro division as well too. Be back in 2 and 2 with a quick X division recap and an RHL recap. We're done for the night. Be back 2 and 2.